Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chicago Autism Network's virtual parent workshops. Tonight, we're really excited to have Beth Nusser here. Beth is an autism mom and a certified yoga therapist, so I will turn the time over to her.
Thank you so much for having me this evening. I'm super excited to share all the things that I've learned through this journey, not just as a yoga therapist, but as a parent of a kiddo with autism. So, how I'd like to first actually start out this presentation is how I start out all my sessions. And I'd love to just take the first 2, 3 minutes to what I call the arrival of the space. And this is just a gentle guiding and a little bit of experiential, which we'll do throughout the presentation this evening so that you can get in a place to really receive and really get into that space of being able to be mindful yourself to take on this information. I recognize that maybe some of you might be driving, so just be mindful of kind of where you are. Sometimes I'll listen to certain presentations or things going on while I'm multitasking. So these first few minutes, I just would like you to kind of rock in your seat and get as comfortable as possible. And in this space, just allow yourself to start to notice the air around you in your room, whether you're in the car, wherever your environment is. Just notice the air for a few moments. Notice if it's cool, is it warm or neutral? If you're in a place to be able to close your eyes and give this moment for yourself, or just soften your gaze, soften your eyes. Let your shoulders come down and relax. Soften your jaw. Notice if there's area of constriction in your body. And then start to take some gentle breaths in. Take a sip of air through your nose, breathe in. And let the day of a sigh out. When we have an audible sigh, it helps us get into that parasympathetic state, that rest and digest for relaxation. Sometimes when I'm cooking in the kitchen, I can hear my little one in the background and I forget to breathe. So, in this moment, allow yourself, give permission. Take another deep breath in through your nose and an audible exhale. We're going to take 3 more together in this arrival of our space. Keep that softening in your upper body. Relax into your seat. Take another big inhale through your nose. And a long, audible exhale. Sigh out the breath. We'll take 2 more together. Deeper inhale. Longer exhale. And last one, biggest breath of your day so far. Inhale deep. And long exhale through the mouth. So wherever you are, start to flutter the eyes open, start to rock in your seat. Feel free to come on camera or you can stay off. It's always your choice. I hope that you're feeling a little bit more relaxed as we start to move on with this presentation. So I'm going to start to share my screen with you all, and I have a couple of things that I want to move through. Give me 1 second. Awesome. So today's presentation is mindful parenting. And I labeled this, I guess, as cultivating calm in the chaos, right? So that's what we're kind of working through on a day-to-day basis. I don't know about you all, but as a parent of a child who is autistic, it is really difficult to cultivate that when things are chaotic. We have appointments and we have therapies and we got to get here and we got to go there and there's all these things going on. And so how do we become mindful during that time? So in this mindful parenting that we're going to work with today, it's this online presentation designed to support parents like us with children who are autistic, and how we are going to navigate those challenges that we're facing, and how we use that with mindfulness and with compassion. So, a little bit about me. My name is Beth Nusser. I'm a certified yoga therapist, and I have a clinical background specializing with working with individuals in a residential setting. And currently, I actively teach in our local school districts, within Valley View School District and District 204. And I work with the higher needs population to provide supports in the classroom in small groups. So, being a parent of a child that is autistic, I practice a lot of these mindfulness and yoga skills with my kiddo. And then also in the schools, working in the classrooms, providing supports for the teachers and the staff. It's really difficult to navigate, these challenges. And I really truly believe in the science and the evidence-based techniques that I use, within my own personal space at home with my own kiddo, and then also with the kiddos that I work with in the schools. So when we think of mindful parenting, I want you to think about the approach of how we're raising our children. And I know, right, full transparency, that I am not fully present all the time. It's really difficult sometimes to really engage in those moments with our child. We're coming home, have work, and then we have demands of our work. And if we're not working, we have demands of the therapist. Either way, what our work looks like is different. Whether that is working with our treatment team, the care plans, our therapists, all of these things. And I think what we forget is that there is a level of awareness that our own kiddos are realizing, that our thoughts and our feelings, our reactions as a parent, that if we are not having a deeper understanding of how we're parenting ourselves and modeling that our own kiddos are able to be able to be empathic and take that on. And so I think within this presentation is really just working through a lot of different interventions that I'm gonna work with you guys on today. And then we can have that deeper understanding for our child's needs. So a lot of the principles of mindful parenting, one is, I always say, being present. That sounds kind of funny at times, because you're like, well, I am being present. I'm right here. But what does it mean to be fully present? I find myself, when my little one comes home from school, that he'll go and eat crackers at the table and he's watching his iPad. And he might be watching his iPad and eating his crackers, but I can either engage with him or just sit next to him and hold the space, or I can have distractions and I can look on my phone. Sorry, there was something that came up in the chat. She said, your mind is on different things. Oh, huh.
No, I was referencing when you were saying that being present, and you were saying that sometimes that's a little hard, and I was just thinking that sometimes your mind is on five different things, even though you're like right there with your child. It's like,
Yes.
I gotta do this
Oh,
at work, I gotta do laundry, what are we gonna have for dinner? All of that at the same time, but you're still like, with your kid, but not really with your kid.
yes, yes. Oh my gosh, thank you for that clarification and for speaking up, because that is exactly what you're saying. And it's exactly what I'm saying. Your mind is on five different things. And you want to be fully present. You want to do all those things. It's hard. It's really difficult. And so I absolutely hear exactly what you're saying. And thank you for saying that. There, I think what has been helpful for me personally, as a mom of a child with autism, is really, really holding myself accountable to be able to focus my attention on him, even if we're not verbally, interacting. That in that current moment, I'm fostering that deeper connection and engagement because I'm just sitting next to him. He's not recognizing that I'm on my phone. I might be checking an email. Maybe I'm on Facebook or something. We have these distractions. And so how can we be present for our children, in a physical, mental, or emotional way during those interactions? And the best piece of advice with that being present, principle is it doesn't have to be, you know, 60 minutes. It can just be these small increments. I'm a huge, advocate of little tiny adjustments are big rewards in our lives. And so even if we can look at almost like the breakfast, lunch, and dinner model, right? Can we and are we able to have maybe just 3 to 5 minutes of being present with our kiddos and look at it like that breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Can we spend a couple of minutes just sitting, being present with ourselves and then for our children? So the next one I want to speak to is emotional regulation. This is a big one. So as a provider, I have to be really mindful in checking my energy when I'm around other kids that have higher needs, whatever that looks like. How do I manage my own emotions? I will give you an example of today. I was driving to go meet a client, and I got some not so great news about a schedule change that I wasn't aware of with my son that was happening yesterday, and I'm just finding it out today. That's really frustrating to me. And all of these emotions are bubbling up, and I have this, activation inside, right? So what can I do to check my emotion? How do I regulate myself? And I'm going to go into a couple of things in a few minutes on what some of those things can look like when it comes to emotional regulation. Because as a provider, we have we take a code of ethics and we have moral standards to be with our kiddos that we're working with. But as a parent, sometimes that stuff goes out the door, right? So how can we be in a really calm manner, especially in those challenging situations? My son engages in a lot of SIB, self-injurious behavior. I have to be really calm in those moments, and I have to check myself so that he can get through that storm. So we're going to get to that in just a few moments. And the next one I would say is setting up boundaries with compassion. So when we talk about mindful parenting, we are setting clear, consistent boundaries for the behavior, but not just for them. We're setting it for us. We're respecting and honoring that the child needs autonomy and individuality. So when we approach this with compassion, understanding, we can focus on teaching and guiding rather than punishment. But how does all of that work together? So setting those clear and consistent boundaries with their behavior starts with us, which now moves into that modeling and mindfulness. So these two go hand in hand. So when we serve as that role model for our children, we're showing them that we embody mindfulness in our lives, that we are demonstrating that presence, that self-awareness, that emotional regulation, and we're cultivating this environment of calm, right? That it's between you and your little one or little ones. So how do we bring that discipline, that approach in with the compassion, understanding with ourselves first? So we allow time for us to be present. And when we are present and what that looks like, we're able to find that time, that space to get into a shape of emotional regulation. That's our setting boundaries for ourselves. It's a compassion for ourselves. And then that's the discipline that we bring in those small increments throughout our day and our week. And that is how we will model mindfulness as a parent and for our children. So the next couple of things that we're going to do that I'm going to run you guys through is a 5-minute meditation. I'm going to teach you hands-on box breathing. And then I'm going to go and teach you attention and release. I'm going to stop sharing at this point because I want you to be able to see me fully. So the next thing that I would like to work with you is these are tools that you can use to evolve into that mindful parenting. And these are things that you can use when you need to check your emotional regulation, that all of these things. And don't worry about writing anything down. Kimmy's going to share everything and the slide with you guys at the end. So I just want you to be fully present and that you can just hear my voice, or if you are looking at the camera, I can demonstrate some of these things with you. So first things first, we're actually going to go back a little bit because it's easier to get into a meditative state when we do breathing first. We're going to do a tension and release technique, which is super easy. And a lot of these things you can also incorporate and model and then bring on with your kiddos. And then the last thing we'll do is a meditation, because that'll be a little bit more relaxed. So wherever you are, just get kind of settled in your seat. If you're standing, maybe you can take a moment to sit down for a minute. That's a little bit easier. So we're first going to work on the tension and release. So tension and release is really, really simple. And this is amazing. I teach this with my kiddos in the school. I work with my own little one with it. I do it myself. It's so, so great. So I want you to think, just bring your elbows into your side body, and I want you to make fists. Okay. And I want you to think about maybe something that is irritating you today or this week so far, or you're feeling stressed or activated. This can also help if you need like a little pick me up and you need to raise your energy. So it can raise your energy or it can bring it down. So we bring our elbows into our side body and we make fists, and we take all of our energy and we squeeze in, and we take a big breath in, and we exhale, force out the hands, force out the breath. We take everything in. So this is the tension. We squeeze, we bring it in, we take a deep breath in, and we exhale, let it out. And then we take another deep breath in, this tension, bring it all in, all that energy, breathe. And then we let it go. And then sometimes I kind of like to shake it off a little bit. So that is that tension and release. And we hold so much energy in our body. And so when we are not even realizing that we're holding and constricting, we're clenching our jaw, we're trying to get through the hustle of life and things we have to do, right? And all of the thoughts happening. So take a moment to get mindful. You can take that tension and release and just let everything go. The second thing that we're going to do today in this experiential part of the presentation is I'm going to guide you through a box breathing. This is a wonderful breath technique. If you already do it, great. Kudos. The military has adapted this breath work. It is the fastest way for your nervous system to get into a regulatory state. So again, find your space, kind of roll out your shoulders a little bit. Rock in your seat to get as comfortable as you can. And then either find a soft focus or you can close your eyes. We're going to take one inhale and exhale to empty our breath. So we'll breathe in and exhale. I'm going to guide you by inhaling for a count of 4. You're going to hold your breath for a count of 4. And then you're going to exhale for a count of 4, and then have a regular natural breath for a count of 4. So I'll guide you through it. Take a big inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Natural breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Deeper breath in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Natural breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Final round. Deeper breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Natural breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a cleansing inhale and a long exhale. Awesome. I hope everyone is feeling relaxed and settled. So we have tension and release. We have our box breath. And now we're going to move through a 5-minute meditation. So again, get as settled as you can. Get any last wiggles out, any movements. And this is just a gentle, mindful meditation to bring awareness into your body. This is a great technique for emotional regulation. So wherever you are, just start to feel the awareness of your seat. Get any last movements out, anything that you need to really receive in this moment. Take a long, deep breath in through your nose. And open mouth, sigh out the breath. And start to bring all your awareness to the bottom of your feet. Find a gentle wiggle of your toes on your right foot and your left foot. Feel the awareness of both of the feet together, the bottom of the feet, the arches, the heels. And then start to bring your awareness to your right ankle and your left ankle. Find your awareness to your lower legs, both legs together, the left and the right. If the mind wanders, just come back to the sound of my voice. Focus on the knees, your right knee and your left knee, and start to feel this gravity pulling your feet, your legs down, feeling the softness in the muscles. And then become aware of your upper legs, the top and the bottom. Become aware of your hips, your left hip and your right hip. And then start to feel this letting down further from your hips to your knees, your ankles, to your feet and your toes. Sensing your whole right leg and your whole left leg together is feeling so relaxed and comfortable. Observe your torso and your upper back, your shoulders, feel them soften and they let down. You sink in further into your space, whether you're sitting or laying. Become aware of your shoulders, your left shoulder and your right shoulder, your elbows and your wrists, and the palms of your hand to your fingertips. Your whole right arm and your whole left arm is relaxed. To your heart center, your neck and your throat, to your jaw. All the way bringing that awareness to your lips, your nose, and your eyes. And all the way to the very top of your head, your whole body is in this relaxing, mindful, calm state. From your head all the way down to your toes, it's relaxed. And just allow this space. Allow this feeling that you're having in your body. And then start to wiggle your toes, start to tap each finger one by one into your thumb. Start to rock in your seat, start to gently open your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a deeper breath out. So those who have had their camera on earlier, you go ahead and take this moment. You can come back on or you can stay off. It's totally up to you. So we'll just take a little rocking in our seat. So, not everybody has moments for meditation, but there are tools, there's links and resources that I can share. And, even if you take 5 minutes for yourself, the last thing that I want to really chat with you guys about and really emphasize, if there could be a lot of different takeaways from tonight's presentation, is what is self-care and what kind of self-care we're doing as parents. And that, the old saying, oxygen mask for me first. If we don't take time to fill up our cup, whatever that looks like, we are doing a disservice to ourselves, to our kiddos, to our family. There is such an importance on how we are taking care of ourselves and having that compassion. And again, that goes back to that mindful parenting of modeling for our kiddos, that we are in a place to be able to give back to ourselves so that we can continue to do the hard work every day that we do for everybody else. I'd love to open up. I saw someone posted a question, and I think at this time I'd like to allow some space for feedback and for questions.